In a world revolutionized by digitalization, social media plays an important role in bringing about change with how we communicate with one another by providing accessible means to information and to interaction. However, the integration of social media also has its negative outcomes. One of them being social media's role in fostering comparison and an unhealthy focus towards oneself, leading to the phenomena we call social anxiety. But first, what is social anxiety? Social anxiety refers to the phenomenon wherein one has a fear of social situations. The person is scared and distressed that their every move will put them under scrutiny and judgment. However level of severity it may be, this can lead to adverse effects on the person and to the surrounding people and their community. Some of these effects include debilitating symptoms of depression, social withdrawal, lowered self-esteem, and constant self-monitoring. Tackling this issue can lead to raised awareness about the importance of mental health, where an emphasis is placed on healthy activities and practices such as self-reflection, active engagement in the community, and empathy towards others. Additionally, this can prompt us as a society to take collective action in improving programs designated to promote positive social interactions and help those who struggle with mental disorders.
Adolescence and young adulthood are periods of huge change. There's a lot going on. We have social pressures, identity shifts, and the debilitating awareness of how others see us. In today's digital world, it becomes even harder with the plague of comparison and the dwindling of real focused attention. The attention economy treats our focus like a finite resource, pulled in every direction by algorithms designed to keep us scrolling, comparing, and questioning ourselves. Over time, this can strip us of our sense of control. Research shows that young people who feel less in control of their lives are more likely to develop maladaptive patterns, rumination, and even personality dysfunction. And every social comparison, every little like, every post, just amplifies those ruminative thoughts of, how do they see me? Am I enough? But what exactly makes some of us more vulnerable than others? Well, I would say that it's mindfulness, or rather, the lack of it. People with lower mindfulness struggle to focus their attention, to regulate their emotions, and to step out of cycles of self-focused thinking. In this era of digital distraction, it becomes easy to slip into habits of self-numbing through infinite scrolling as a way to avoid confronting our negative thought patterns and problems in the real world. Ultimately, this issue points to a lack of agency, or a perceived control over ourselves and situations. This is where mindfulness-based interventions come in. Practices like mindful breathing, body scanning, decentering, and attention training aren't just ways to calm down. They're not just reactive, but they're also proactive. They actually help us see our thoughts and emotions as temporary, fleeting experiences, reducing the intensity of self-critical thoughts, and give us tools to respond to more stressful situations more skillfully. And here's a key point. Those self-focused thoughts that we all have, they're not inherently bad. Think about it. Our minds are constantly sending signals to protect us. Anxiety, self-consciousness, they're ways of keeping us alert to risks like embarrassment or social exclusion. Rumination becomes a problem only when we overreact to those signals, when a small social slip makes us want to shrivel in ourselves to the ground, when our body magnifies the threat in a way that is disproportionate from reality. Mindfulness teaches us to step back, observe these thoughts without judgment, and respond with intention rather than habit. Another powerful way mindfulness helps is by changing how we talk to ourselves. Studies show that practicing mindfulness promotes positive self-talk and self-compassion. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, or everyone is better than me, mindful individuals learn to treat themselves with support and with kindness. They respond to setbacks with grace and with compassion. This shift in internal dialogue with that gentle, encouraging voice, it reinforces emotional regulation and helps reclaim the agency that the digital world often steals from us. In other words, mindfulness isn't just about breathing exercises or calm meditation. We must reclaim control over our attention, our emotions, and thoughts, and break free from the loops of overthinking and social comparison, and build a healthier relationship with ourselves.
Let's take a look at another equally powerful solution. While mindfulness teaches us to sit with our thoughts, rumination-focused cognitive behavioral therapy teaches us to change the way we respond to them. But what is RFCBT? Rumination-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, or RFCBT, is a specialized treatment derived from cognitive behavioral therapy. Officially developed by Edward Watkins in 2016, RFCBT focuses on the thinking style that keeps individuals stuck in the cycles of rumination and worry. As Watkins explains, RFCBT reframes rumination as a mental habit rather than a meaningful form of reflection. The goal of RFCBT is simple yet transformative: to reduce depressive, negatively targeted rumination, which is defined as the habit of replaying one's experiences through a pessimistic, self-critical lens. RFCBT teaches people to shift from an abstract way of thinking with spiraling questions like, "Why did I even do that?" into a more concrete and action-oriented way of thinking that asks, "How can I move forward from that?" Instead of ruminating, individuals learn to focus on the details and the facts, and with this shift, they begin to recognize the triggers and interrupt the cycle before it intensifies into something that is more destructive. From that foundation, RFCBT introduces different cognitive and behavioral strategies. These include shifting thinking styles, absorption, and attention-shifting techniques. At the heart of this approach is the development of concrete thinking, where people practice catching themselves when they slip into that repetitive thought patterns and then redirect themselves toward what is real and what is around them. This is paired with other meaningful, structured activities designed to reduce the mental space that rumination typically occupies, such as if-then hypotheticals, grounding exercises, and sensory-focused activities. These strengthen the attentional and cognitive flexibility of an individual and disrupt the typical cycles of maladaptive self-focused thinking. With consistency, people slowly begin to catch themselves earlier. They stay more grounded and they start responding to their stress with concrete and solution-oriented actions rather than mental overloading and aggressive internalization. Over time, research has shown that this reduces the frequency of negative rumination and leads to more balanced, productive ways of responding to stress, including those induced by past events and recent social interactions. What RFCBT ultimately offers is sustainable change. It provides people with the practical skills for emotional regulation, promotes a healthier engagement with their environment, and helps them develop a more balanced relationship with their inner experiences and their perception of themselves. In doing so, it frees people to refocus their attention onto more meaningful activities and on themselves in a healthier, happier way.